Sorry I've been gone so long, but I promise I have something that's gonna make up for it. I made a comic. I'm back with a brand new video. I want to apologize first and foremost for being gone for so long. I didn't anticipate that I'd be gone this long, but sometimes you need to practice on your mental health and just practice on being happy. You take as long as you need to get back into order. And now that I'm back into order, let's file this stuff and get things happening. I can't say how long I've been gone. I'd have to look at the time staple, but since I've been gone, I've been working regularly at my art and Arts Avenue, which is my job. Since then, I've been active on social media, so if you want to follow me, all the links to my social media is going to be down below. And, since then, I've been working non-stop, and I've just been focusing on what makes me happy and following my dreams. And my dreams being comics. Ever since I was a child, I've loved anime and manga, cartoons as well. I was greatly fascinated not just by how cartoony the characters were, but how alive they were. How you could watch Fantasia 2000 and Mickey Mouse is making magic, he's making brooms move, and I'd sit there and wonder how those brooms would be so animated, how a bucket could show so much emotion and so much more character than people that I knew on the street. Crazy. And stuff like that just drove me to just want to be an artist. And when I came across anime and manga, I instantly fell in love with the way they told stories and the lessons that you would learn through those stories. And I knew right then and there, at a young age, that I wanted to create and tell a story and share it with the world one way or another. As I got older, I fell in love with JRPG games such as the Tales of series, Final Fantasy, Star Ocean, Pokemon, you name it. And that also helped build and craft my style of storytelling, as well as, the traditional comics, Spider-Man, Green Lantern, X-Men, Watchmen, all those great stories that you can just pick up and read and just be so deeply amalgamated into it mentally and emotionally. It really drove me to just want to make my story harder and harder. And as I got older, I just knew that I wanted to make comics. And for 16 years, I worked on a story diligently. I want to say non-stop, but that would be a lie. I would take breaks and come back and revise and revise and revise and re-edit, never feeling like it was good enough. And just, I want to say, if you don't feel like it's good enough, it might not be good enough. But if you have a gut feeling, you gotta go with it. And sometimes, you just gotta do it. You just gotta put it out there and you gotta see what happens. Even if it gets mercilessly crapped on, at least you put it out there and you can learn from it and build it back stronger. And that's what brings me to where I am today. This comic, Magna Ax. It took 16 years to make it, and last November of 2017, I debuted my comic. And it was the most heart-wrenchingly scary, terrifying thing I have ever done in my whole entire life, because if you're gonna go big or go home. Me and my best friend Gerard, who's also a comic creator and tells the other half to my story, Magna Ax, Altafreya VX, his character right here, my main character right there, we decided to debut our stories together in a magazine and throw a launch party for tons of people and comic book artists and fans to come and actually read it. And we threw it on the weekend of the debuting Anime NYC. We planned that exactly a month beforehand, and we spent one whole month just building it up and drawing nonstop. And I gotta say, when you're drawing comics for the first time ever on a professional level, it's gonna kill you because you don't know a lot of things and you're learning as you go. And that's exactly what I did. I didn't know a damn thing about screen tones or anything like that, and I figured it out as I went. I didn't have a tablet either, I had a phone. And I did it on a small Samsung Galaxy phone, not even the fancy ones that you're thinking about, like a little prepaid Samsung Galaxy phone, and then that phone broke in the middle of me finishing my last 10 pages and I had to go out. And I'm really grateful for a friend who actually helped invest in me and got me a replacement phone with a stylus that's way better. And I ended up completing that actual full comic on a phone. I'll show you. I finished my comic on a phone no bigger than this. Crazy when I could have gotten a tablet or used a laptop, but I ended up being very comfortable with just the function of the phone, and hey, I don't think it came out that bad. But yeah, we spent a whole month just planning, writing it up, and just going for broke, and that's exactly what we did. We used our clients and our guests from Arts Avenue NYC, and we reached out to the New York comics community, and we teamed up with a good friend of mine with his own comic company that he released called Unbound Story Inc. I'm going to put the information down below. He's an advocate and a supporter of indie creators and local artists and comic book writers as well. We both do similar things. We have different features that entice artists to go either or places, and we both decided to collaborate and throw a big event that way. But back to the main story at hand, making this comic on a phone. It's crazy. We decided to go the traditional Japanese route by creating a one-shot. And a one-shot is basically a test run where you pretty much tell your story in 25 pages or less, or more if you need to. And that's exactly what we did. I decided to create a one-shot of my story Magna Ax with my main character Sato and his supporting cast. And boy, was that painful, because never done that before. So I created a story on the fly, and I decided to take it one step further and actually create a video game about it as well. And that was also fun, because I actually spent my time going back and forth between editing a video game in RPG Maker VX and creating the actual content, which was the comic book. So now I'm going to open up the comic book so you guys can see it. So this is the actual comic magazine that we made, and we based it off of New Type USA, or New Type magazine, and we styled it in the way of Shonen Jump, where you have that Jump magazine where you have like multiple comics, because that's what our comic company does. We actually work like Jump, but in the New York City, New Jersey area, and internationally, if people want to internationally submit to us, we create a magazine where you can have your featured characters on the front, featured characters on the back, and the name of your titles, and we even have a promotional card that comes with it. For our debut, I actually created a promotional card of my main character Sato that I'll show you guys in a few. I went all out. I made a comic, I made a video game, and I made keychains, and I made promotional cards. I wanted to arrive. I wanted to make up for the 16 years of sitting on my hands and being terrified to tell this story. And yeah, so when you open up the book, it's basically some simple stuff. You have overworld Sekai, and Sekai is just Japanese for the word world. So I decided to go that basic, and it's basically a world map of everything. You'll see it better when you actually read the actual comic. I'm going to put the link below. And when you open it, you have some information about Arts Avenue, what we do, and then you get straight to the nitty gritty, which is my comic Magna Ax. When you open it, you have the overview, the epilogue. You talk about the story. When you open it, you have the story so far, and it's pretty cool. So I'll read it out to you guys real quick. So Team Magna, which is the name of my team, traveled to the Isle of Sanctum per the request of Professor Rosalind and Boss, owner of shop, to aid the people of Eden Village. Upon arriving, Team Magna finds that the people of Eden are being terrorized by a vicious heretic, kidnapping and eating women and children of the Isle. In addition, the Grand Elemental of Sanctuary, protector of the Isle, has gone missing, and the Isle is slowly losing its blessings that's keeping it afloat. Can Team Magna track down the heretic and save the Isle and find the great element of Sanctuary? I'm tripping up on my words, I'm so sorry. But basically, yeah, that's like the basis of the story. And then when you open it, you get into like the main story. You have my main character reaching out, having a dream sequence, then the main heroine Hanasu opens the frame and she's like, hey, wake up. And basically when you look at it, it's a full manga. With some Japanese sound effects, had to sit down with some friends and make sure they were accurate. And I went all out. I tried to do the best I could, and I tried to present the most professional thing I possibly could do. And I gotta say, it was worth it. It was the most rewarding thing in the world when it came to just telling the story and having an actual panel. It felt like mini Comic-Con. We threw it on Anime NYC's debut weekend, and that's basically an anime convention straight for anime fans and pop culture, and it was coming back for the first time, and we wanted to be bold, and we actually submitted to Anime NYC to have a panel there about VArts. Unfortunately, they were completely full, and we were like, you know what, that's fine. We'll throw our own event and see what happens. And it was great because people actually came out in costume and cosplay. There was Vegetas and Lufis and all that matter, and it was really cool to see that. And we had like the regular fans that came out to support us, that knew about us from our previous endeavors, and it was a wonderful feeling. And yeah, here it is. This is my one shot. This is what I've been working on for quite some time, and it's crazy. Here it is. Main character, the monster coming out to fight, some action scenes. Making comics, you know, I know that I'm not actually talking in detail about how I made it, but in the next videos that are coming out, I'm actually going to sit you guys down and actually go step by step as to how I made it. I'm going to do another video about the actual full story about my comics so you guys can know more about it. But yeah, this is what I've been working on. Magna Ax, my comic, and why I've been gone for so long. And then when you open it, there's part 2, which is my best friend's comic, Alter Freya VX, which is the other side of the story. We're both telling basically one full story, but we broke it down into 2 parts. My half is the current half, and his half is the other half of the story that takes place on the opposite side of the universe, but starts on my current side of the universe. It's cool stuff. It's cool stuff. You guys will like it. Here's his art. It's really awesome content. If you're wondering how I printed this, we went to a Staples and we walked in and we asked for like 20 to 30 copies. And you know, all they ask is that you create a PDF format and you organize how you want the comic to be in terms of the pages. Because when we actually got there, all I did was number them, but I didn't correctly put them in the order where they needed to double page spread, which was an issue because his part of the comic features a double page spread, which is based off of a comic comic video game where you have like character select. So you know, you can select your character and that would be the story that you want. So if you selected this character, which is G, you would flip over a few pages and here would be his story right here. So we had to like format around until finally we got it on the double page spread that we needed, and then Staples printed it right then and there, and it was the most amazing thing in the world. I think I hugged that magazine. We actually still have the first one. It's all beat up, but we have that, and we're never going to let that go. Like I said, in addition to making the comics, we actually made a lot of promotional materials for it for our guests. We actually made promotional cards, and this is my main character, Satoshi or Sato. This is the actual card that I made. I made this card fairly easy. I used a program called Canva. I used some Photoshop, and I did some art, and I did some screen tones. I feel like I should answer right now the programs that I used to actually make the manga, and it was primarily 2 applications that I used. I used an application called Medibang Paint, and what Medibang Paint is a free drawing and comics application that you can use to make manga, absolutely free. They have a desktop version and a phone or a tablet version. I downloaded the tablet version, and it was a really impressive application because it taught me how to do screen tones. As you see here, you can actually create your own screen tones in there, or you could download screen tones from the cloud. They have brushes. You can actually download brushes from the cloud. It's really interesting stuff. And the actual text and the word speech bubbles I actually also got from Medibang. So I would say 98% of this whole comic that was made was Medibang, and the rest was PixArt. When it came to just angling boxes and panels, I rarely use Photoshop for anything when it came to actually making the full-fledged comic that you see. Fast forward a little bit to now. I did some awesome stuff because I want to talk to you guys about that too. I actually finished the first chapter of my comic Magna Ax. I'm actually going to do another video about like the whole process and the full story and everything in between, so you guys can actually grasp how hard it was and crazy it was to make it. But actually this month finished my first chapter of Magna Ax, which is also available for reading online right now. Link will be in description for you guys to read it. I'm so nervous, and I actually put comments in it so you guys can comment and tell me how shitty it is. I'm kidding. I'd be happy to read if you guys thought it was shitty, because that means you guys actually thought something of it, and that would make me happy. Making this comic was a great deal of hard work, because I started the actual first chapter of my comic, chapter 1, in January, late January. Spent all of February and most of now up until last week of March finishing it, and I just, wow. And I worked primarily from a manuscript that I had of my original comic from, I would say, 2008, 2009, where it's just good old school ugly art. I don't know if you guys are catching this. Yeah, here we go. This is this manuscript, and some of it stayed the same, but a lot of it changed for the modern times. And I found a script that I rewrote from 2015, so I combined 2009 and 2015 with some modern aspirations, and I got Great Story Magna Ax Chapter 1. And if you're looking at it and you're thinking, oh wow, that kind of looks like Final Fantasy the way it's done, I did that on purpose because I wanted to tell a story that was a fantasy based off of reality, where it's kind of like you're immersed in a video game on paper, because I'm a nerd. And this is the completed chapter. I haven't printed it professionally yet, because I'm waiting on my best friend to do his first chapter so we can print them together. We always want to print them together, but I did manage to finish it off and put it online for you guys to read. And here it is. And I gotta say, the quality of chapter 1 is drastically different than the quality that is my one-shot of Magna Ax, because you have a better overall direction and you're actually working with canon story. And here it is. Like, you can see like the double page spread of New Lore City and my main character Satoshi. Then you got my female main character Hanasu in dream sequence, dreaming about Sato. And then you have like a scene where she's waking up, she's talking about her dreams, and there's Sato. She's like, can a boy like that even exist? I'm really excited to actually tell you guys about the full story of Magna Ax. You guys, I think you guys are gonna like it, and I think you guys are really gonna appreciate it. But basically, yeah, this is why I've been gone for so long. I've just been following my dreams and sitting out here and making manga left and right. And I can't wait to share everything I know. I'm actually going to do a series about like the actual manga, so I can teach you guys how to make it if you guys want to make it, you know. And if you guys want to teach me stuff, please, by all means, I'm all ears. So this is why I've been gone, and I can't wait to see you guys again in the future. I have a ton of videos coming out, and we're going to have some crazy fun. So with that being said, thank you guys for subscribing to me. I want to say thank you to all my Day 1 Edition subscribers, and I want to say thank you to all the people who have been constantly subscribing and leaving me comments. I've been just sitting down and going through them, and you know, wow, my Ohuhu Markers video has reached 3,000 likes and more. I mean 3,000 views and more, and I'm like, whoa. So I know what type of videos I have to make as well. I'm going to order a brand new batch of markers and do a review on that as well. And yeah, can't wait to see you guys again in the future. This is going to be fun, and let's get back to it.